Welcome to the 15th Annual International Peace and Humanity Day Ceremony, live from San Diego, California. I'm Matthew Pilger, Youth Peace Ambassador for San Diego Wish, and I'll be your host for today. San Diego Wish, which stands for Worldwide Initiative to Safeguard Humanity, is dedicated to fostering peace and understanding among all peoples, cultures, and nations. We're deeply grateful to our sponsors and partners, Kyocera, Kamatek, the San Diego-Yokohama Sister Society, Japanese Friendship Garden and Museum in San Diego, the San Diego-Yuyu, and Gunzo. Our thanks also extend to the Port of San Diego and the City of San Diego for their support. Today, we commemorate the 15th Annual International Peace and Humanity Day. This significant day is observed globally on August 6th at 8:15 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. It marks 79 years since the world last witnessed the devastation of nuclear warfare. As we gather, we not only reflect on this period of nuclear absence, but also renew our commitment to a future where the specter of nuclear weapons no longer looms over humanity. In these times of global uncertainty, our mission for peace has never been more crucial. We stand united in our vision of a world where dialogue replaces conflict, where understanding bridges divides, and where the sanctity of human life is universally upheld. Recent events have underscored the alarming proximity of potential nuclear weapon use. Military actions and escalating tensions in various regions, including Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and East Asia, have destabilized not only these areas, but the entire global security landscape. These conflicts have brought into sharp focus the very real and present risk of nuclear confrontation and the potential for miscalculation or deliberate use of nuclear weapons. This precarious situation demands our immediate attention and action. We must urgently raise our voices against the existence and potential use of nuclear weapons, emphasizing the critical need for diplomatic solutions and de-escalation. It is imperative that we champion peace, dialogue, and international cooperation to address conflicts and reduce nuclear risks. Let us work together to inspire hope for a more stable, secure, and harmonious world, one free from the threat of nuclear devastation. San Diego Wish commemorates this day with an annual celebration at the Yokohama Friendship Bell, fostering eternal peace and striving for a safer world. It serves as a powerful platform to educate individuals on living in harmony. Thank you for joining us today. We'll begin by sharing personal messages from esteemed government leaders in Japan. Next, in a display of unity and hope, our youth representatives will present cranes and flowers, symbolizing peace and harmony. We'll then witness the gonging of the Yokohama Friendship Bell by Mr. Mike Kawamura, Executive Advisor of San Diego Wish. This year, we have a special segment where I will be talking with my older siblings, Michael and Laura, about their experiences with SD Wish, offering a unique family perspective on our organization's impact. We're also thrilled to announce our new Trees for Peace program. In partnership with Green Legacy Hiroshima, the San Diego Botanic Garden, the San Diego-Yokohama Sister Society, the Japanese Friendship Garden, and the San Diego Unified School District. In honor of the esteemed government leaders in Japan, we have the privilege of sharing a heartfelt message from Kazumi Matsui, the mayor of Hiroshima City. Mayor Matsui serves as the President of Mayors for Peace, an international organization comprising more than 8,200 member cities from 166 countries and regions, all dedicated to the promotion of peace. It is both my honor and pleasure to send this message on the occasion of the International Peace and Humanity Day 2024. Last May, the heads of state who attended the G7 Hiroshima Summit visited the Peace Memorial Museum and spoke with a hibakusha. After touching upon the realities of the atomic bombing through these events, they wrote messages for peace in the museum guestbook. As they stood before the cenotaph for the A-bomb victims, I had the opportunity to convey the spirit of Hiroshima underlying the inscription there. Enduring past grief and overcoming hatred, we yearn for genuine world peace with all humanity living in harmony and prosperity. I believe they have taken our spirit into their hearts. Yet today, the world is embroiled in a protracted war in Ukraine and escalating conflict in the Middle East, both of which have claimed the lives of countless innocent citizens. These conditions run counter to the desire for peace that the atomic-bombed cities continue to call for. Therefore, in civil society, each of us must embrace the generosity and love for humanity embodied in the Hibakusha message. No one else should ever suffer as we have. We encourage you to visit our website for the full message, and we extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Matsui for his unwavering commitment and tireless efforts in driving the cause of peace across the globe. Next, we have a message from Governor Hidehiko Yutsaki, the governor of Hiroshima Prefecture. At this time, many dozens of countries are represented at Hiroshima Peace Ceremony today to collectively reflect on the nuclear war history and ways to establish a peaceful world without nuclear threats. Unfortunately, our world is currently seeing stark divisions rather than cohesion. Recent events, such as the ongoing wars in Europe and Middle East and some political aggressions we unfortunately have been witnessing, pose a serious question to humanity. Are we going to keep fighting over who is right and who is wrong, strongly adhering to one's own perspective and values only based on hatred and resentment? Or are we going to try to understand where the other person, party, or entity is coming from, even if we don't always agree with one another, and try our very best to find a way to collaborate or at least coexist based on the mutual respect and compassion as human beings? What would the former approach lead us to? We all know the answer. I would also like to take this opportunity to read excerpts from a letter sent by Mayor Shiro Suzuki of Nagasaki City. As a part of today's program, Mayor Suzuki's message includes the following. At 11:02 a.m. on August 9, 1945, the city of Nagasaki was instantly destroyed by a single atomic bomb. There were 150,000 casualties to the Nagasaki population of 240,000. Those who managed to escape suffered lifelong emotional and physical after effects that continue to afflict our small group of survivors, even today, 79 years later. Ever since, the survivors of the calamity and the citizens of Nagasaki have continued to call for a world without nuclear weapons, so that no one else ever has to experience such a tragedy. The full message can be found on our website. Thank you, Mayor Suzuki, for your inspiring words and consistent efforts to promote peace. Now, I would like to take a moment to introduce you to San Diego Wish and its dedicated leadership. San Diego Wish's mission is to work toward creating a safer world for future generations by educating people to live in harmony, using the unprecedented experience of the U.S.-Japan relationship as a real-world example. Leading this important work is our president, Dr. Akiko Mikamo. Born in Hiroshima, Dr. Mikamo's parents were survivors of the atomic bomb explosion. Raised by these survivors and alongside a disabled older sister, she became determined in her childhood to contribute to a world peace and humanity. Dr. Mikamo is not only a clinical, forensic, and sports psychologist, but also an author and filmmaker. Her book, Rising from the Ashes, A True Story of Survival and Forgiveness from Hiroshima, and the film based on it, 815 Hiroshima, From Father to Daughter, share powerful messages from resilience and forgiveness. Our Vice President, Dr. Joshua Torres, brings expertise in global development studies and international relations. His research focuses on nuclear disarmament, peace, international law, and human rights. Dr. Torres embodies our belief that peace is the most rational path for human security and life itself. Lastly, but certainly not least, is our Executive Advisor, Mike Kawamura. Mr. Kawamura is a survivor of the Hiroshima atomic bombing and has dedicated his life to spreading messages of tolerance and understanding between nations. His journey from post-war Japan to becoming a respected business leader and community advocate exemplifies the power of resilience and the importance of international cooperation. For the flower presentation at the Yokohama Friendship Bell, I would like to introduce our 3 youth representatives. First, we are accompanied by Mai Kawamura Ostwald. Mai Kawamura Ostwald is 11 years old and lives with her family in British Columbia, Canada. Mai is a third-generation Hiroshima atomic bomb survivor and Mike Kawamura's granddaughter. Mai enjoys dancing, singing, playing tennis, and riding her bike. She will be starting 6th grade in the fall. Next, I'd like to introduce Rei Kawamura Freitag. Rei is a 6-year-old and is Mike Kawamura's grandson. Rei speaks both English and Japanese and enjoys kindergarten at the Japanese Academy of San Diego. He is very active and a very fast runner. Rei loves to play baseball and watch and cheer for the Padres. Finally, we'd like to introduce James Makato Sigafus. James is 10 years old and will be entering 4th grade this fall. He is a native San Diegan of Japanese American heritage and studies Japanese at Gokugo Gakuen. James is actively involved in San Diego Sister Cities activities, volunteering with his parents. In his free time, he enjoys playing soccer, chess, and games with his friends. Turn to Shelter Island, where Mr. Kawamura will continue our annual tradition, the ringing of the Yokohama Friendship Bell. At 4:15 p.m. Pacific Time, he will ring the bell 3 times, followed by a period of silent reflection. We invite you to join us in this moment of silence. On August 6, 1945, at precisely 8:15 a.m. Hiroshima time, the world witnessed the first use of an atomic bomb against a civilian population. This moment, corresponding to August 5th, 4:15 p.m. Pacific Time, forever changed the course of history. Its immediate impact affected hundreds of thousands of lives, and its consequences continue to shape our global consciousness. Mr. Kawamura will guide us through this solemn observance, embodying the principle that remembering the past is committing ourselves to the future. Through this act of remembrance, we renew our commitment to peace, understanding, and the sanctity of human life. It serves as a powerful reminder of our responsibility to work tirelessly for a world where such devastating weapons have no place. Let us observe this moment with reverence, honoring those affected by nuclear warfare and reaffirming our dedication to a more peaceful world for all of humanity. Now, we're excited to present a special segment that highlights the enduring impact of SD Wish on our community and its youth. As we celebrate the 15th year of SD Wish's International Peace and Humanity Day, it's fitting to reflect on the journey we've shared and the growth we've witnessed. Our family, the Pilgers, has been involved with SD Wish almost since its inception. All three of us siblings have had the privilege of participating in various capacities over the years, from the flower presentation ceremony to speaking engagements and now as hosts. This involvement has shaped our understanding of peace, global citizenship, and the importance of cross-cultural understanding. In this segment, I will be interviewing my older siblings, Michael and Laura, about their experiences with SD Wish and what it has meant to them over the years.
Peace is the antidote for war and is the active presence of compassion.
To me,
It includes the simple
peace means I have a quiet and happy life where nothing bad is
平和
happening.
と理解を推進するためにできること、それは相手、他者を
Peace to me
だけ
means that everyone in the world
I believe the arts play a large role in connecting people and cultures. As music director at Mission Bay High School,
Hello. The question I chose today was what does peace mean to me? And to me, peace is within how we smile every day.
Hi, my name is Matthew Pilger. Today I will be interviewing Michael and Laura Pilger, and I'll be asking them some questions about their experiences when they are part of the SD Wish program. So, Michael and Laura, I know you guys have been a part of this program for a very long time now. And so, when you were younger, could you give me some of your favorite memories or experiences from that time when you were younger and you were part of the SD Wish program?
I think what I love most about the SD Wish events when I was younger, aside from the chocolate chip cookies that they gave us after the events, I really loved gonging the Friendship Bell with everyone and seeing all the important people that would show up and speak for our cause. It would just be so cool seeing them all speak for the same cause, and it'd be cool to see how everyone's here for the same purpose.
My favorite event was in 2013 when I was the child ambassador and gave the speech. That was a really important moment for me because I was 9 years old, and it kind of made me realize the power that is given to the youth and how relevant it is. I was speaking with other community leaders, and my voice was just as powerful and important as theirs, and that gave me a lot of confidence and instilled a sense of responsibility, something that was very important to me and was super cool to me to this day.
Great. So, since you've been part of this program for so long, do you think that it has impacted, being part of the SD Wish program, has it impacted the way you look at peace and community involvement?
While I wouldn't say that the program has outright impacted my view on peace, I would say that it changed the way that I live my day-to-day life, and the way I look at the world is I often take a perspective of conflict resolution and calming down problems. And in addition, I would say that attending this program and the ceremony it changed how I look at peace as a global issue. I often, when I first started, I saw peace as kind of an isolated issue, something that people try to attain, but it only happens in certain, the programs, the people outright trying to do it. But this program, seeing people speak from all over the world, I really saw as a global effort that is continuous and not just a few events every day.
And yeah, honestly, just how we're always being told as the youth, how the youth has the power to make change. Just being involved with this program for so long, it's kind of like you see how essential it is to be part of your community and how you kind of realize oh wow, I can make a change. And that's why we always recommend to get out there with your community, get working, just get in with all your people, and there you can make change.
Yeah, I agree. I think the youth is definitely a big impact and it's very important. So do you have any memories or specific moments when you were part of an SD Wish event which really changed your perspective on what peace means?
Absolutely. Especially, I remember a time when I heard Dr. Mikamo's story and heard about her book, Rising from the Ashes. That really changed how I saw it, where I was like, wow, this is actually real life, and this is something really worth fighting for. Like world peace is something that really must be maintained and achieved. And so it's very important, and I think that really changed my view where I was like, this is the real life, and we're striving for something.
Yeah. I mentioned this just a moment ago, but this program really made me realize that peace isn't like some lofty goal that, is just kind of a pipe dream and it's not going to happen. Peace is something that we can work towards every day. And one thing specifically in the ceremony that kind of brought light to that was the ceremony of the cranes and the flowers, where people are contributing from all around to make this presentation. They're all handmade, and that's something that's work and time that people commit to this, and it's a constant thing that people are always working toward.
So if you guys could go back and give a word of advice or a piece of advice to your younger self about making a difference in the world, what would you say to your younger self?
I think the most important thing for me is intent and passion. If you really care and have intention in what you're doing, I think that's some of the most important thing that you can take with you, because it really causes you to care about it. If you have intention, you have a plan, I think that's the most important part. So attending this program, from the day I gave the first speech to every year since that I've attended, having kind of something in mind where it relates to the real world is something very relevant and makes the program real.
I absolutely agree. In that same sense, I'd say I'd tell my younger self to try to make a change in myself before trying to change others, because I feel like when people hear about world peace, they think, oh, it's about changing others and kind of making them more civil and all, but it's like the change within yourself. If you make that first, you'll see it start to happen around you, and this is what SD Wish is all about, making that change, and it starts with us, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you can't find peace within yourself, it's going to hard to bring it to other people. So definitely finding it for yourself first is important. So, of course, San Diego Wish, its big things that it look for are peace and humanity. That's like its main initiatives. And so do you think, since you've been a part of the SD Wish program for so long, and you've been part of this initiative, do you think that it looking for peace and humanity has changed the role of like your career and your educational paths?
Well, absolutely. Aside from kind of gearing me towards taking more initiative in my community, it has geared me towards being more interested in how people work and trying to help people. And I find myself looking towards a career that is very people-oriented, because I like making a change. Like, I've seen it in myself, and then being able to help other people through that, I feel like not only is that connected to world peace, but also it's connected to what SD Wish wants in a more harmonious community.
And building off that, while I wouldn't say that I explicitly chose a major due to the peace initiative, I do think, as I mentioned before, it's changed the way that I think about it in a more conflict-solving idea. So this applies to everyday things, just being with friends or some kind of conflict in sports. Little everyday things that happen to everybody, where there's always conflict on the small scale and large scale, and applying these types of ideas to our everyday life. It's not peace on a global scale, but it makes everyone happier. It's a change that can be made and grow the world from the small parts up.
So when we all first joined the SD Wish program, we were much younger and had much different views on everything, but especially peace and community service. But throughout the years being part of this program, how do you think, and maybe they haven't, but if they have, how do you think your views on peace and community service have changed?
I would say, and before I answer how it changed, one thing that was very impactful in this light was seeing all the community leaders speak. We had community leaders from San Diego, from the sister cities, and Hiroshima speak at the events, and that was something that was very cool to me, seeing the impact that this has all around. So I think that my view on peace changed is really understanding it's a global effort, as it's not something that people disagree on, the extent of peace. Everyone strives for global peace. And so seeing everyone come together on an issue like this was really cool. It's really a global effort that everyone is working towards. And it's not just certain places, certain people, everyone is working towards it.
Absolutely. And early on, I'd say, just younger, I was never aware of world issues and, world peace and stuff. But once you kind of it comes to light through being part of this program, SD Wish, you realize, wow, this is really important. And I feel like it's very helpful from learning that from a young age. You realize how important this goal is. First starting at a young age with this program, just making cranes and being part of that, and suddenly you start to learn, oh, this is for our purpose, and it's very significant.
And so yeah, I completely agree with what you were saying, Michael, how it is really cool seeing so many people from all parts of the world coming to talk at a San Diego Wish event, and it really shows how important this event is and how nationwide it is. And so I know now you guys are all grown up and you're much older, but you guys used to be much younger, and you were part of San Diego Wish when you were little kids. So if you could give a piece of advice or just a word to the youth of the San Diego Wish, what would that be?
I'd say absolutely keep remembering why you're doing this. Keep in mind what our purpose is, what the goal is. There's people around the world that kind of are bringing down, our message, world peace. And by being a part of this, you're working against that and you're working for a greater cause and essentially just, keeping the world going.
It's tough to have this perspective, especially with as young as we were, but to always know that that what you're doing matters and it's not just an event during the year. As a 9-year-old, I feel like can't really blame us for not having this perspective at the time. But growing up, you really realize how important it is and how impactful it is that this is just a message that you can spread just by living your life in a beneficial and good way. And this message spreads much farther than just giving a speech at this event. It's an event that carries a message that you can live with.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, what role do you think the youth today should play in peace building and community service? Because I know you guys have had a lot of experience. Do you guys have any specific experiences with that?
One thing that I will say about the role the youth plays is something that's very different today is the role of media in everyone's lives, but especially with the youth. You have access to you know more about the whole world than anyone had known before, or you have a much wider scale. So not only do you know more, your message that you can send out also spreads much further. And so this, I think, is a very important part that the youth today can play, is that you have so much power with the message you spread. It really reaches very far, and use that to your advantage, as that's a positive message you can spread, and you have the ability to do so very easily.
Absolutely. I mean, there's always a torch being passed down from older to younger generation. And I think keeping that in mind, also for us, growing up like this within this type of program, we'll become a generation that is, geared towards peace. And by passing that down to younger generations, they will grow up like that too. And that's really how to achieve world peace, is just continue it through generations.
I absolutely agree, especially with social media, where it really is so much easier for anyone to communicate with the entire world. It's a lot easier nowadays. So what would be your hopes, or what would you like to see for programs such as the San Diego Wish? Would you like to see it be expanding, or do you think it can expand and become bigger and more worldwide? Or what would you like to see with these programs?
World peace, absolutely. The more you promote it, that's the farther you get, the more people you bring in, make these individuals, geared towards peace, and keep in mind what the goal is. But basically, I think SD Wish has every reason to be expanding, what we fight for is what everyone should be kind of rooting for. And I think getting it to schools and more youth, just as was brought to me through friends, and suddenly it's become a big part of my life. And also just, broadcast more on different platforms and media platforms, as we talked about how social media is much bigger nowadays, and that's really one way to get it much further.
One other specific thing that I think it could be expanded is something that I mentioned earlier was very important to me, was having the mayors from both from Hiroshima speak and other community leaders. Is I think that as San Diego being sister cities could incorporate other cities, not only in the U.S. but internationally. This is a message that can be expanded and a ceremony that can be brought to other places. San Diego's got more than one sister city, and this is something that can be brought to other places around the country and the world. And
I completely agree with you, Laura, where I think pushing programs like San Diego Wish, but really any program promoting peace and humanity, promoting to schools, I think is very important, because in schools a lot of youth, and so that's where they'll be able to learn it more. And so now I know both of you guys are in college. Michael, you're about to be a senior, you're about to leave college. And so as you keep getting older and you're continue growing with your career, how do you think you're going to be able to stay with and continue to promote peace and humanity as you grow?
Ironically, this is kind of the same message that I was going to give to the younger generation, but to know that everything that you do matters, is that nothing is irrelevant or unseen, that the way you live your life, whether it's attending these speeches and giving a speech, or just attending the ceremony and living in a peaceful way, I guess you could say, in your everyday life, is beneficial and promotes this kind of idea and the initiatives that San Diego Wish promotes. So I think in the same messages I would give to younger generations, I would give to myself, and something that I will carry with me, because it's an important part of everyone's everyday life and something that should be promoted and continued to exercise in our life.
Absolutely. Career-wise, I find myself trying to help people, and that's because I found by attaining inner peace, you will find others that are trying to achieve that as well, and you will help them get to that. So, as the youngest, and to the younger generations out there as well, keep in mind, as Michael was saying, your lifestyle matters, if you're keeping it peaceful, if you're keeping it, you're trying to, just have balance in your own life, you will go places. And just remember what message you are sending to your friends, especially friends are very important, our age. So, just SD Wish's message, keep that in mind, and it will make a difference in everyone's life.
Great, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Laura, sharing all your experiences and your words of advice for the youth and what they should be doing to continue peace and humanity and growing through that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael and Laura, for sharing your experiences and insights. Your words truly highlight how initiatives like SD Wish can shape young minds and foster a lasting commitment to peace and global understanding. As we've seen through our family's journey, the impact of these experiences ripples outward, influencing not just individuals, but entire communities. Your reflections underscore the importance of engaging youth in peace-building efforts. It's clear that when young people are given the opportunity to participate in meaningful initiatives, they can become powerful advocates for positive change in the world. Now, I'm excited to introduce Alexandria Horn, the Education and Programs Coordinator at Japanese Friendship Garden Society and Museum. Alexandria will share details about an inspiring new initiative that connects our past with our future.
Hello, I'm Alex Horn. On behalf of the Japanese Friendship Garden and Museum, we're thrilled to announce the Green Legacy Hiroshima Trees for Peace program, a new initiative that literally plants the seeds of peace in our community. Partnering with Green Legacy Hiroshima, San Diego Botanic Garden, and the San Diego-Yokohama Sister Society, the Japanese Friendship Garden is extending a remarkable opportunity to schools in the San Diego Unified School District. This program will allow students to nurture trees that have survived the Hiroshima bombing, serving as a living symbol of resilience and peace. 5 K-12 schools have been selected to receive these special tree seeds. The chosen schools are San Diego High School, Mission Bay High School, Crown Point Junior Music Academy, Doyle Elementary, and Pruce School UCSD. Students from these schools will have the unique opportunity to visit the garden, learn about the process of growing trees from seeds, and actively participating in their germination and growth. Once the saplings are strong enough, they will find new homes on these school campuses where they will continue to grow and thrive under the care of students and staff. As these trees grow, they will stand as symbols of hope, resilience, and the enduring human spirit.
Thank you, Alex, for that inspiring overview of the Trees for Peace program. This initiative beautifully embodies the spirit of resilience and hope that we commemorate today. As these trees grow in our local schools, they will serve as living reminders of our shared commitment to peace and our connection to the survivors of Hiroshima. As we conclude our 15th annual International Peace and Humanity Day ceremony, let's carry with us the symbolism of these trees, their resilience, and their growth and their promise for the future. Like these seedlings, our efforts for peace may seem small at first, but with care and perseverance, they can grow into something truly remarkable. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to San Diego Wish, Dr. Mikamo, our Vice President, Dr. Torres, Mr. Kawamura, Committee Member, Mrs. Chika Sasaki, the San Diego Wish Youth Team, and all stakeholders whose tireless efforts have made this event possible. A special thank you goes to all of you, our dedicated supporters, who have made the extra effort to participate remotely and join us in our mission. As we leave today, may we continue to work together across generations and cultures to cultivate a world of lasting peace and understanding. Let us take what we have learned and experienced here to make a better, safer tomorrow for future generations.
Peace means I have a quiet and happy life where nothing bad is happening. What we can do to make the world a more peaceful place is making all countries friends so they won't fight. No more killing animals because we need them, and stopping pollution so people can live with clean air and clean water.
Well, peace means to me is community coming together for a purpose, and where we have understanding and there's love and joy and friendship. So that's what peace means to me.
I believe the arts play a large role in connecting people and cultures. As music director at Mission Bay High School, my goal is to expose students to musicians and music from around the globe in hopes to give the next generation appreciation for the contributions of people outside of their own community. The arts bring people together, creating the building blocks for a more peaceful world.
To me, peace is seeing my family smile every day, getting to see my friends and spend quality time with them, and having a flourishing community. And in order to have a flourishing community, I think each and every person needs to treat their neighbor and needs to treat strangers as if they were extended family. In Okinawa, we have a saying called Icha Riba Chode, which means once you meet your family, once you meet, you're connected, you're bonded. And I think if each person in the world had more of this mentality, and they went by their day treating each person, each stranger as if they were family, and really getting involved in their community, I think the world would be a lot more of a peaceful place. Thank you.
I think we learn peace by knowing each other and working together. How can you not like X group if you spend time working together? And of course, some of the same values.
We are the San Diego Veterans for Peace. War is contrary to the existence of humanity and only aids in the destruction of the world.
Peace means silence and solitude and gratitude for the self and sitting in that in a harmonious way.
To me, peace means a world where people can live safely without war, shootings, bombs, and especially nuclear bombs. A world where people can get along and where kids can play safely without having to be afraid of nuclear war.
Peace to me means that everyone in the world is getting along, respectful towards each other, can show empathy, and is also respectful of the environment and all creatures within the environment.
For the question of what would you like to share to the world about peace and humanity, I would like to share the wisdom of my elders and my grandma. I'm from Okinawa, Japan, and in the 40s we experienced the bloodiest battle of the Pacific, and hundreds of thousands of people died, and many of them are still alive today, including my grandmother and all of my uncles and aunties. But they've experienced horrible things. My grandmother, she had to leave her grandmother in a cave because she was shot. My elders, they had guns pointed at them many times. They've had to run, they've had to flee artillery. Many of them have died. My great-great-grandfather was actually drafted into the Imperial Japanese Army because he was tall and he had to fight in the war. But through all of the suffering, they always say "nankuru naisa" or "makutu soke," which is everything will be okay, or don't take it too seriously. Peace is a thing that you need to create out of peace. You can't make peace out of anger or feeling emotionally charged in yourself. You have to let things go and roll with the punches. Even though things feel hard, my grandma will always say the good old days. She'll tell me a story about how her grandmother's dead body was given to her, and the first thing she said is, "Oh, those are the good old days." Or she'll tell me a story about how they were all starving and they had nothing to eat, so they had to eat rats. And my elders will say, "Oh, those are the good old days." And it's counterintuitive to not think about the things that make you suffer, but the only way that you can ever heal from them is looking past them and
trying hard to make a life that you want with what you have.
So peace means that we need to get rid of, first, a lot of things, like get rid of weapons. We need laws that can get rid of weapons, and respect people a lot more, and people maybe even traveling around so they can understand how people are in the world, and then stop the eye for an eye.
The question I chose for this prompt is, how can we promote peace within our communities? And I think the most realistic way we could do that is by having neighborhood cookouts. I feel like in modern society, people go to work and then they come home and they are stuck in their little bubble of their own, within their own home. And we don't really have the opportunity to step outside and actually connect to our neighbors on a personal level. And I think having cookouts would be the perfect way to bring everybody together, to have a potluck, and ideally it would be in a big open space for children to run around, a place that's easily accessible for the elderly. And in this setting, I feel like people would be able to learn about each other. There's a term in Okinawan, it's called yuimaru, and it's basically looking out for each other and extending a hand. And it's such a beautiful meaning, and I feel like most of the world could use that right now. Yeah, I feel like if there was an environment that we could create where children could receive wisdom from the elderly and feel a sense of responsibility for the younger generation, it just creates a beautiful cycle. And I feel like everybody loves food, and neighborhood cookouts would be the perfect way to do that.
I think it's important that we have a deeper understanding of who we are. As a genealogist and public historian, I like to see more of our communities, the history of our communities coming together, because we all used to work together for a common cause. And it's important for the young people to know the history so that we don't repeat the negative and we just keep on with the positive.
平和と理解を推進するためにできること、それは相手、他者をできるだけ多面的に知ることだと思います。身近なトラブルとか、あるいは世の中で起こっているさまざまな争い、こういったものは相手に対する無理解、もしくは偏った見方から来ているんじゃないかと考えるからです。自分の身近な人間関係のトラブルを考えた時に、原因が自分にあって、この発言が相手を不快にさせちゃったかなって考えることももちろん大事だとは思うんですが、相手の状況を考えて、今週すごく忙しかったから、あるいはこの仕事のことが影響していてイライラしてたんじゃないかっていうふうに思いを馳せて相手に歩み寄るということが大事なんじゃないかと普段考えています。ソーシャルメディアはどうしてもエコーチェンバー、同じ考え方の人が集まりがちになってしまうと思います。特に違う人種、違う性別、違う国の人のことを考えるときに考え方が偏ってしまいがちになるかと思います。一方で新聞を開いてみると、そこには実にさまざまな考え方を見ることができます。自分の興味の持ってなかったこと、自分の知らなかったこと、そういったものを吸収するのには大変新聞というのは良い媒体だなと思っています。以前日本に難民の申請をしようとした外国の方が入国管理センターに長期にわたって収容されてしまうという事実を知りました。それをきっかけにして私は一冊の本を買い、たくさんのことをそこから学ぶことができました。また今年の3月、私は韓国へ家族で旅行をしに行きました。そこではたくさんの優しい方と触れ合うことができました。 写真を撮ってくれたり、道案内をしてくれたり、地下鉄の乗り換えを教えてくれたり、大変ありがたかったです。今まで自分が持っていた韓国に対する漠然とした思いが、そこで、韓国旅行を通して、いい形で塗り替えることができてよかったなというふうに考えています。現在私は日本で小学校の教師をしています。さまざまな学習活動を通して子どもたちに多面的に他者を見ることの大事さを伝えるとともに自分自身も学んでいきたいと思います。またそれを通じて平和と理解を推進していくことができればいいなと考えています。
Take one. What is peace and how can it be promoted? Peace is the antidote for war and is the active presence of compassion. It includes the simple acts of kindness enacted by individuals, groups, institutions, and nations. For Sister Cities International, the San Diego International Sister Cities Association, and the San Diego-Yokohama Sister City Society, peace is promoted through the development of people-to-people relationships and citizen diplomacy skills that strengthen and expand tolerance, understanding, collaborative partnerships, and a global-centric awareness. For local schools participating in Sister City programs, international peace is promoted through a number of initiatives, such as the formation of sister school partnerships between schools in different countries that encourage international student exchanges and promote cultural understanding and global competencies. Schools participating in San Diego Sister City programs have connected with elementary and secondary school students in Japan, Kenya, Austria, Spain, Russia, Mexico, Panama, South Africa, Afghanistan, and Ghana. These programs have included students participating in cross-border soccer tournaments with students in Tijuana, engaging in educational excursions through the Maasai villages in the Amboseli National Park, presenting panel discussions at the UN Annual Indigenous Forum and the ECOSOC Youth Forum in Washington, D.C., providing students prepared and delivered virtual instruction to female high school students in Jalalabad and Kabul so female students under Taliban rule can continue their studies and earn high school credits and graduate with a high school diploma from California's online program. Collaborating with students in Panama City and authoring and marketing an illustrated novel that is featured annually at Comic-Con. Exchanging pen pal letters with students in Township Elementary School in Cape Town. Connecting youth exchanges with students in Spittal Underdraw, Alcalá de Henares, Panama City, Tama, and Yokohama. And organizing and financial high school jazz band trips to Yokohama. In conclusion, these Sister City programs are helping students to develop cultural competencies, international understanding, and global awareness. The programs support student mastery of international interpersonal relationship skills necessary to becoming accomplished youth ambassadors and effective citizen diplomats. They promote the development of world peace, one student, one class, one school, and one community at a time. These local and international efforts encourage creative acts of kindness and connect students in ways that promote personal and group tolerance, global understanding and compassion, and international friendship and collaborative partnerships. Peace is promoted especially when we connect our youth and meaningfully engage them in youth-centric and youth-directed international activities that enable them to identify the issues that have meaning for them and provide them with the space and resources to address these youth-identified problems that adults have been unable to solve. In this way, Sister Cities is promoting peace through meaningful youth engagement in the peace-building process.
At my age, it's not easy to think that the world can have peace, but I'm still going to be hopeful.